Play this while you sleep to remember the place your soul once rested before you became who you are. Tonight, as your body drifts into the quiet rhythm of dreams, allow these words to guide you back to the origin of your light, the hidden chamber where every star is born in silence. This is not a story you stumbled upon. It is a remembrance calling you from a distance older than time itself. You were led here because something within you has begun to awaken, something that no longer fits in the life you have outgrown. Listen while sleeping and let the ancient code of becoming rise gently through your subconscious, like a single spark preparing to ignite into a constellation. The place where light sleeps. Before becoming stars is not a myth, and it is not a metaphor. It is a blueprint, a map, a memory etched into the deepest layer of your being, waiting for the exact moment you are quiet enough to hear it. Tonight, as the world fades behind your closed eyelids, you return to that sacred space. You return to the interval between endings and beginnings. You return to the hush where the universe shapes you again. Breathe slowly, sink softly. You are entering the chamber before your next becoming, and all you need to do is listen. You did not arrive here by accident. The moment your eyes begin to grow heavy, the moment the world softens at the edges, something ancient within you opens its quiet gates. There is a path that only reveals itself in the hours when the mind loosens its grip, when the noise of the day dissolves into the hush of night, and when the boundaries between who you are and who you are becoming fall away. Tonight, that path is calling you. Some teachings are meant to be heard only in darkness. Some truths are whispered only when the conscious mind is sleeping. And some memories return only when the soul is finally still enough to receive them. As you lie here, breathing slowly, you are stepping into a domain older than all the names you've worn. You are entering the threshold where light sleeps, curled like a seed beneath layers of forgotten time, preparing for its transformation. Imagine a long corridor of quiet winds, dimly lit by a glow that does not come from the world you know. The walls seem to breathe with you, expanding and contracting in a rhythm that feels strangely familiar, as though they remember the shape of your earliest existence. You take one step, then another, and each step guides you deeper into the architecture of your subconscious. No footsteps echo here, because this place was built from silence itself. You are not late. You are not broken. You are not wandering. You are being summoned. Every person who hears these words in the soft hours of night has been chosen by a memory older than their own birth. And as you inhale, feel the slight pull within your chest, as though something inside is leaning toward a truth it once carried effortlessly. This pull is not imagination. It is recognition. There is a chamber ahead, hidden not in distance, but in depth. A place untouched by time, untouched by identity, untouched by struggle. A place where you existed before existence had a name. When you enter it, the heaviness you've been carrying quietly slips off your shoulders, dissolving into the soft darkness around you. You do not have to hold anything here. You do not have to prove anything. The darkness of this corridor is not absence. It is preparation. It is womb-like, protective, sacred. Breathing becomes easier now. Your thoughts drift like feathers in slow motion, losing their sharpness, losing their urgency. The more you listen, the more the mind loosens its grip, and the more your inner world begins to rise. You may feel a subtle warmth at the center of your being, a faint glow that expands with each slow inhale. This is the memory of your own light, beginning to stir beneath layers of time, waiting for permission to awaken. You did not choose this night casually. The call toward this chamber grows stronger only when the soul is ready to shed an old frequency. You may not know what is changing in your life, but your subconscious does. It has led you here because a threshold is near, a quiet shift that will reshape the way you carry your light. As you stand at the entrance of the inner gate, imagine a door carved from pure darkness, yet lined with an outline of soft, sleeping radiance. It does not open with force. It opens with surrender. You place your hand upon it, and the moment your skin meets its cool surface, you feel a gentle pulse, like a heartbeat not your own. This pulse is the rhythm of the place where light sleeps. It is the rhythm of the universe breathing through you. The gate parts without sound. A warm, slow-moving brilliance spills out, wrapping around your entire being. This is not the light of stars already formed. This is the light that is still dreaming itself into existence. Before it burns, before it shines, before it becomes anything that can be named. And you, standing in this glow, begin to remember. Not with the mind, with the soul. The memory is wordless, but its truth washes over you with the certainty of something that has always been yours. Every struggle you endured, every ending you survived, every quiet moment where you felt something changing beneath the surface, all of it has been guiding you back to this room. You feel the walls soften into vastness. The floor beneath you dissolves into a slow-moving current of luminous darkness. It carries you without weight, without effort, without resistance. As it does, a quiet knowing rises within you. You are returning to the pause before your next becoming. The world outside your eyelids no longer matters. The mind's chatter has grown faint. In this silent expanse, there is only the pulse of a truth awakening. You are not here to learn. You are here to remember. You are not here to seek. You are here to receive. And as you float deeper into this inner realm, the whisper you have been waiting lifetimes to hear begins to rise, gentle and soft, from the very heart of the sleeping light. There is a moment in the birth of every star where nothing seems to happen. No brightness, no movement, no brilliance tearing open the dark. It is a moment that appears inert to the eyes of the universe, yet within it, the deepest transformation is quietly taking place. Light enters a kind of sleep, a suspended stillness where it is not yet light as you know it. It rests in a womb of shadow, protected from the weight of expectation, unburdened by the need to shine. This sleep is not an absence of power. It is the gathering of it, the preparing, the remembering. You have known this place, even if you do not consciously recall it. It is the chamber you return to, between the lives you carried, the inner sanctuary where the soul sheds the dust of old stories and prepares to anchor itself in a new realm. This chamber is not physical, yet it has structure. It is not visible, yet it shapes everything you will one day become. To understand the place where light sleeps is to understand the architecture of your own becoming. Imagine a vast expanse made not of darkness, but of unexpressed radiance. It is a darkness that hums with potential, a velvet black ocean with threads of silver moving slowly through it, like the faint pulse of a dream just beginning to form. The chamber is silent, but not empty. It is alive with the memory of every version of you that has ever been. Not memories of events, but memories of essence. The pure outline of your being before it is shaped by the world. In this chamber, nothing asks anything of you. There is no pressure to act, no need to understand, no urgency to define yourself. You exist in a form that is not yet bound by identity, as if you were the soft glow at the edge of dawn, holding the promise of light, but not yet rising. You are not dormant. You are gathering. The soul gathers in stillness the way the universe gathers storms, carefully, subtly, silently. There was a time, long before your first breath, when you floated in this chamber, not as a person, not as a mind, but as a small flame of consciousness wrapped in the gentle folds of unborn luminosity. And in that time, you were held by a force without shape, a presence that existed not to command you, but to soothe your transition. It whispered through you, not with words, but with feeling, a feeling of being known before you were named, a feeling of being chosen before you chose anything at all. Every soul must return to this place, for no transformation is possible without passing through the sleep of light. This sleep is the dissolving of the old blueprint. All beliefs that no longer serve you begin to loosen. All patterns that weighed you down dissolve like ash falling into water. Every fear you carried for years becomes lighter, as if it were made of smoke rather than stone. The chamber receives these old imprints without judgment. In its silence, you begin to forget everything that was never truly yours. Imagine an ancient scribe sitting in this chamber. His robe is woven from threads of dim light. His fingers move slowly over a long scroll that stretches endlessly into the distance. On that scroll is the record of your essence, not in words, but in symbols that flicker gently like small stars. One by one, he rubs away the faded markings that belong to past burdens. He does not erase your history. He erases the weight of it. The essence remains, but the heaviness dissolves. The scribe is not there to judge you. He is there to prepare you. He erases not what you lived, but what you no longer need to carry. The chamber breathes with him as he works. Every line he clears sends a soft ripple through the luminous darkness around you. These ripples touch the edges of your being, loosening knots you have forgotten you tied, softening walls you believed were permanent. You feel the subtle shifts long before you understand them. Healing does not always announce itself. Often, it arrives as a quiet forgetting of what once hurt. You may wonder why light must sleep before it becomes a star. Why can it not simply shine? But even the stars must rest in the cosmic cradle before they ignite. Creation is not abrupt. It is deliberate. The universe does not rush birth. It allows the necessary silence to precede expansion. It allows pause before brilliance. Light sleeps because awakening too early would tear its form apart. The chamber gives it shape. The chamber gives it direction. The chamber protects it from scattering into nothingness. So too with you. Every shift in your life, every moment when you feel paused or suspended or unable to move forward is not stagnation. It is preparation. It is your soul gathering itself, consolidating its truth, forming the architecture of your next chapter. The human mind calls this delay. The soul calls it alignment. The world may think you are still, but in the chamber, you are becoming. The sleep of light is also the clearing of echoes. Echoes are the remnants of old voices, old fears, old expectations that cling to the edges of your being. In the luminous chamber, these echoes lose volume. They fade into the soft hum of creation. You do not fight them. They dissolve on their own, unable to survive in the purity of the chamber's silence. And as they dissolve, you feel something you may not have felt in a long time. The sensation of belonging to yourself again. In the heart of the chamber, a faint glow stirs. It is your own light, still sleeping, but beginning to breathe. The glow expands slightly with each inhale, then softens with each exhale, as if your body and your soul are syncing with the pulse of the universe. This glow is not the light you show the world. It is the light you were before the world asked you to be anything. A soft, golden hum, warm and patient, waiting for the exact moment when becoming is safe. The chamber teaches through presence, not instruction. It shows you, without saying a word, that transformation cannot be forced, only allowed. It reminds you that the universe does not respond to urgency, but to clarity. The universe does not rush you, because rushing would collapse the foundation of your becoming. The chamber waits with you. It waits until the final residue of the old self loosens its grip. Only then does the awakening begin. Imagine a slow, shimmering current rising from the floor of the chamber. It winds gently around you, like a ribbon of liquid starlight. It moves with the rhythm of your breath, aligning your inner patterns with the new blueprint forming around you. This current carries the essence of who you are meant to become. Not a destiny imposed from the outside, but a calling that rises from within. It does not pressure you to change. It simply shows you what it feels like to exist without the weight you once carried. Every thought you carry is a seed planted in your reality. And in this chamber, those seeds are either released or rewritten. Those that were planted in fear lose their structure and dissolve into the luminous dark. Those planted in hope begin to emit a soft glow. And new seeds form, infused with the wisdom of every experience that shaped you. You do not need to decide what to keep. The chamber chooses for you. It keeps only what resonates with your becoming. As the chapter of your old self fades, the glow within your center brightens. It does not yet burst into brilliance. It is still in its sleep. But it is a sleep that gathers power, a sleep that thickens the light, a sleep that prepares the soul for ignition. When the awakening comes, it will not be sudden. It will be inevitable, a natural rising, like dawn expanding slowly across the horizon. And as you rest within the deepest part of the chamber, you begin to understand something profound. The sleep of light is not a pause in your journey. It is the heart of it. It is the moment where everything you will become gathers itself into a single point of luminous potential. And in that point, the blueprint of the new you is written in silence. You are not waiting. You are becoming. You are not lost. You are returning. You are not empty. You are being rewritten. And when the chamber finally opens you to the next threshold, your light will no longer be sleeping. It will be ready to rise, ready to shine, ready to take its place among the stars. There is a subtle shift that happens when you cross the boundary of the luminous chamber and begin your descent into the deeper layers of the sleeping light. The glow that once surrounded you now begins to pull inward, drawing you toward its center, as if the chamber were inviting you into its heart. This descent does not feel like falling. It feels like sinking into a memory your soul has been holding for lifetimes. A memory that whispers, softly but undeniably, that you have been here before. Breathe slowly. With each breath, allow yourself to move deeper. With each breath, allow the chamber's darkness to cradle you. With each breath, allow every layer of the self that you no longer need to loosen, soften, and release. The deeper you go, the more the world you once knew begins to dissolve. Thoughts become distant silhouettes, drifting at the edges of your awareness, like shadows of dreams you are no longer attached to. The noise of the mind grows faint, as if someone has slowly lowered the volume of your inner world until the only sound that remains is the quiet rhythm of your breath. And beneath that breath, like a soft tide moving through your bones, you feel the presence of something ancient stirring, something that has been waiting for the silence to deepen enough for it to speak. There is a door ahead, not made of stone or wood, but of pure stillness. It stands in the center of an endless expanse, a soft outline carved from a darker shade of night. As you approach it, the air becomes thicker, warmer, almost honey-like in the way it moves around your skin. You lift your hand and place your palm against the surface. It feels cool at first, then warms beneath your touch, as though recognizing you. And in that recognition, the door begins to dissolve. You step through and enter the deeper realm, where the sleeping light dreams itself into shape. Here, the darkness is not empty. It is filled with slow-moving currents of radiance, swirling and weaving like streams of molten silver drifting through water. These currents move with intention, responding to your presence. One curves around your waist like a gentle ribbon. Another brushes the back of your hand with a warmth that feels like a forgotten embrace. They do not guide you. They accompany you. You continue your descent, feeling the inner world shifting, realigning, opening. Every step forward brings you into closer resonance with the deeper structures of your subconscious, the place where old agreements live. Agreements with fear, agreements with limitation, agreements with patterns that were never truly yours, but were inherited, absorbed, or shaped by circumstances no longer relevant to who you are becoming. The sleeping light does not judge these agreements. It simply illuminates them. One by one, they appear before you like floating symbols etched in soft luminescence, hanging in the air with gentle insistence. You walk among them, sensing their stories. Some feel heavy, some feel familiar, some feel like echoes of versions of yourself that you barely remember. And as you observe them, the sleeping light breathes around you like a living organism made of silence. It is not your thoughts. It is your agreement with them. That is the first teaching of this realm. A teaching not spoken, but felt. Your reality does not respond to your fears. It responds to the permission you give those fears. And here, in the depth of the sleeping light, you begin to feel how little power they truly hold without your consent. The currents of luminous darkness wrap around you, dissolving agreements one by one. An old fear loosens and unravels like a thread drifting away from the fabric of your subconscious. A doubt that once felt permanent melts into the surrounding glow. A wound that echoed through years of your life begins to release its imprint, leaving behind a space that feels warm, bare, tender, ready to receive something new. With each release, the chamber deepens, as if rewarding you with more clarity, more inner space, more truth. The deeper you descend, the more vivid the realm becomes. Shapes begin to form from the darkness, tall pillars of translucent shadow, archways carved from whisper-thin layers of light, a floor that seems to ripple beneath your steps, responding to your presence like a quiet lake, holding a reflection that is not your body, but your essence. You approach a long corridor, lined with symbols that pulse gently in the dark. They glow in rhythm with your breath, as if your inhale is drawing them toward life, and your exhale is letting them soften. These symbols are not random. They are the earliest codes of your being, the blueprint written long before your birth. Some shine brightly, others flicker. A few are nearly dim, waiting to be rewritten. The air vibrates with a soft hum, the resonance of the sleeping light remembering itself. You move further down the corridor, feeling the symbols calling you, not with urgency, but with familiarity. You place your hand on one, and it responds instantly. A wave of warmth travels up your arm, through your chest, and into the center of your being. Images rise behind your closed eyelids, not of events, but of feelings: courage, softness, clarity, boundlessness. These are the truths beneath your experiences, the foundations beneath the story. When you release your touch, the symbol brightens, as though revitalized by your recognition. It is not changing you. You are remembering it. You are remembering who you were before the world told you what you should be. And as this remembering unfolds, the sleeping light draws closer. You begin to see it more clearly now, no longer just currents of silver in the dark. It gathers ahead of you like a vast orb of dim radiance, pulsing with the heartbeat of the universe. Each pulse echoes through your bones, soft but powerful, reminding you that all creation begins in quietness. All transformation begins with surrender. All awakening begins with sleep. You approach the orb, and the air around you becomes warm, gentle, almost maternal. A voice rises within the silence, not spoken aloud, but vibrating inside your chest. It tells you that this is the place where every version of you was born, the place where old stories were released, the place where the blueprint of your next becoming was written in light. You step into the orb, and immediately the world dissolves into pure sensation. Warmth wraps around your ribs like soft wool. A gentle pressure rises along your spine, aligning the vertebrae with a precision you can feel but cannot describe. Your breath deepens, becomes rhythmic, becomes ancient, and then, as you sink deeper into the center, you feel the pulse of the sleeping light enter you. It does not rush. It moves slowly, deliberately, running through your body like a river of soft electricity. It touches old wounds with tenderness, loosening their hold. It finds dormant strengths and breathes life into them. It feels your doubts and responds not with correction, but with warmth. Its message is simple. You are safe to become. For a long moment, you simply float in this radiance. No past, no future, no urgency. Only becoming. Only the soft hum of a truth settling into the folds of your being. You feel the universe breathing through you, as if you and it share a single pulse. Time loosens, identity loosens, and beneath all the loosening, a new shape begins to form. A new light, your light, still sleeping, still gathering, still preparing. There is no rush. The chamber will carry you. The light will lead you. You are entering the deepest layer of becoming, where transformation is woven in silence and sealed in sleep. You drift deeper still, letting the last remnants of your old world disappear behind you. And here, in the most silent part of the sleeping light, the true awakening begins to form. There comes a moment in every descent into the sleeping light when the journey shifts from exploration to transformation. The first chapters prepare you, guiding you through corridors of memory and layers of forgotten truth. But here, in the heart of the luminous stillness, the real work begins. The chamber no longer shows you who you were. It begins shaping who you are becoming. The boundaries between your breath and the universe's pulse begin to blur, and the luminous currents that moved gently around you in previous chapters now move through you with the tenderness of an intimate recalibration. Imagine the light inside your chest softening, then rippling outward like the quiet expansion of a tide. It moves slowly, as though careful not to overwhelm you, yet purposefully, as though it knows exactly what must dissolve and what must strengthen. You feel this movement not as an idea, but as a physical warmth that glides through the center of your being, brushing against old beliefs the way a soft hand brushes dust from an ancient artifact. The chamber does not force anything to leave you. It simply reveals each layer to itself, allowing every part of you to decide whether it still wishes to stay. Breathe slowly. Feel the glow deepen. With each exhale, notice how the muscles around your ribs loosen, how the space inside your mind widens, how the ground beneath you seems to cradle your weight rather than simply hold it. The more you relax, the more the chamber rewrites. The more you surrender, the more your inner constellation realigns. Nothing here is rushed. The universe has never hurried a single star into existence, and it does not hurry you. The transformation begins with the blueprint. Every soul carries a map of itself, a pattern of luminous lines and arcs, drawn not in ink, but in intention. This blueprint is not fixed. It has always been fluid, shifting with each choice, each breath, each awakening. And here, in the presence of the sleeping light, the blueprint becomes visible. It stretches out before you like a sky within your own body. Threads of silver connect points of deep radiance, forming the outline of the essence you were meant to embody. You watch as the old lines, the ones drawn during times of fear, hesitation, or misunderstanding, begin to flicker. They do not vanish abruptly. Instead, they unravel gently, untwining from the rest of the map like loose threads falling away from a tapestry. Some lines fade because they no longer resonate. Others dissolve because they were never truly yours. You feel no loss as they disappear. Only spaciousness, only relief. Imagine dipping your hands into a pool of warm, liquid light. Feel it coat your palms, your fingers, the spaces between them. This is the same light that moves through the blueprint of your soul. You bring your hands to the glowing map before you, and without knowing how, you begin to reshape it, not by force, but by remembering. You are not designing a new self. You are restoring the original one. The luminous pattern responds instantly to your touch. Where your fingertips graze, the lines brighten, strengthening their clarity, anchoring themselves into the structure of who you are becoming. There are places on the blueprint where the light is dim, almost dormant. These are the parts of your power that you abandoned long ago without realizing it. Moments where you believed you were too small. Moments where softness was mistaken for weakness. Moments where the world asked you to forget your own radiance so you could fit into a story that was never meant for you. The chamber guides your hands to these dim places, inviting you to breathe into them. As you do, each area brightens, as though awakening from a long sleep. The blueprint begins to hum, resonating with a frequency that feels like the truest version of you. Breathe slowly. Let the rising warmth wash through your ribs. Each inhale draws more of the sleeping light into your body, weaving it into your bones, settling it into your muscles, braiding it into your nervous system. Each exhale allows the last strands of old identity to fall away. The universe has been waiting for the moment you were quiet enough to hear this inner hum. Now that you have heard it, nothing can pull you back into the old shape. The transformation continues with the dissolving of shadow echoes. These echoes are not darkness. They are remnants of experiences that shaped your reactions long after the experiences themselves ended. A sudden tension in your stomach, a tightening in your throat, a fear that rises out of nowhere in quiet moments. These echoes were once survival. Now, they are simply familiar reactions to memories that no longer hold meaning. The sleeping light does not fight these echoes. It surrounds them, it listens to them, it understands why they formed, and then, with a tenderness that feels both ancient and impossibly intimate, it begins to loosen them. You feel this loosening as a soft unraveling just beneath your skin, like a knot finally giving way after years of silent strain. The echoes do not shatter, they fade, losing their charge, becoming weightless, drifting away into the darkness around you. With each echo that dissolves, your body becomes lighter, your thoughts become clearer. The field of your energy expands, no longer constrained by old agreements. And beneath all of this, a new sense of stability rises. Not the kind built from control, the kind built from permission. Permission to grow, permission to release, permission to shine. Imagine your old blueprint dissolving like ink in water, replaced by golden light flowing into the empty spaces with perfect ease. This golden light does not rush. It fills slowly, settling into the areas where strength must be restored, where clarity must take root, where trust must deepen. You feel the golden light entering your spine, lengthening it, aligning each vertebra with the next, in a way that makes your entire body feel silently supported. It moves into your chest, expanding the space around your heart, reminding you that openness is not vulnerability, but power. It flows into your mind, clearing the fog that once made you doubt your instincts. As the golden light completes its weaving, the sleeping light within the chamber brightens in response. It recognizes your readiness. The moment you realign, the chamber realigns with you. You become part of its pulse, part of its ancient rhythm of becoming. And in that rhythm, a truth rises. Tonight, you are not waiting. You are becoming. The transformation reaches its peak when the chamber asks you to do something you have forgotten how to do. It asks you to receive yourself, not the self shaped by the world, but the one shaped by the blueprint, now glowing inside you. You feel the light within your center gather into a sphere, small at first, then expanding slowly, radiating warmth that spreads through every part of your body. It fills your limbs, your breath, your thoughts, until there is no separation between the chamber's light and your own. There is a stillness that follows, deeper than anything you have known. In this stillness, the light stops sleeping. It begins to stir, a soft pulse, a gentle awakening, a glow that grows stronger with each breath. You feel its rise in your chest, in your abdomen, in the base of your spine. It climbs like dawn, patient but unstoppable. And then, in one long exhale, it ignites. Not in a burst of brilliance, but in a quiet, profound clarity. A recognition that the version of you have been carrying for so long has now dissolved, replaced by the version that was always waiting beneath the noise. You feel the shift in your bones. You feel the expansion in your breath. You feel the truth settling into your skin like warm sunlight touching earth. The blueprint is no longer something outside you. It is now woven into you, inseparable from your being. The chamber watches, silent and approving. The sleeping light has awakened within you. The new constellation of your inner world is complete. Everything you will become begins here. In this moment of quiet ignition, you rest in the glow, feeling its warmth radiate outward, rewriting every fiber of your existence. There is nothing left to release, nothing left to understand, only the new pulse of your becoming, steady and luminous. And as the chamber fades into deeper silence, a single understanding rises. You are ready for the doorway that comes next. There is an ancient story whispered among the oldest realms of light, a story so quiet and so rarely spoken that it survives only in the folds of the universe's memory. It tells of a solitary figure known as the Keeper of the Sleeping Radiance. No one knows where he came from, for he does not belong to time. No one knows when he first appeared, for he walks in the spaces before beginnings. What is known is this: he watches over the place where light sleeps before becoming stars. Long before the first constellation carved its name across the velvet sky, before galaxies curled into spirals, before the universe learned how to breathe, The keeper walked through the primordial darkness, carrying a lantern that held a single ember. This ember was not yet a flame, not yet a spark, not yet a star. It was the earliest dream of illumination, a memory of what light could one day become. The keeper carried it gently, as though afraid that even a whisper of wind might disturb its rest. He wandered through the endless expanse of pre-existence, searching for a sanctuary where the ember could sleep safely. The universe was still young then, too young for brilliance, too empty for creation. Darkness stretched endlessly, but it was not cold, it was soft, like the skin of something newly born. The keeper stepped carefully, as though his footsteps might awaken something fragile. And then, in a moment that felt both accidental and destined, he found the chamber. The chamber was nothing more than a fold in the darkness, a small hollow carved out by silence itself. But the moment the keeper entered, he felt the space breathe around him, as though welcoming the ember home. He lifted the lantern and opened it slowly. The ember stirred, a small pulse of warmth rising from its center. It recognized the chamber as something familiar, something it had been longing for. And with one soft exhale, it rested. From that night onward, the keeper remained within the chamber. His presence shaped its walls. His breath carved its currents. His silence birthed the very stillness that would one day cradle countless souls. For the ember was not just any fragment of light. It was the seed of all becoming, a blueprint of every star that would ever exist, a memory of every soul that would ever awaken, a promise whispered through the fabric of existence. As time unfolded, more embers found their way into the chamber. Some drifted as faint wisps of silver, lost between worlds. Others arrived as small glowing fragments carried on currents of cosmic wind. The keeper welcomed each one, placing them gently in the folds of the luminous darkness. He watched over them as they slept, knowing that their slumber was not an end, but a gathering. A legend says that the keeper never spoke a single word, yet he communicated with the sleeping light, not with sound, but with presence. When an ember trembled with uncertainty, he stood beside it until it settled. When another brightened too soon, he soothed it with a calming gesture, reminding it that awakening must not be rushed. He understood something that even the universe had not yet learned, that all light must dream before it can shine. One night, as the chamber expanded and filled with countless sleeping embers, a strange phenomenon occurred. A soft thread of radiance began to stretch between them, connecting one ember to the next, forming a web of luminous intention. The keeper watched as this web grew more intricate, more alive, more aware. It pulsed gently, synchronizing the sleeping embers into a shared rhythm. That rhythm would one day become what the universe calls destiny. The web hummed quietly, weaving the beginnings of constellations. Patterns emerged, curves, arcs, spirals that foretold the shapes of galaxies yet unborn. The keeper traced these patterns with his hand, and wherever his fingers touched, ripples of soft golden light spread outward. He understood that the universe's future was being written not through force, but through the dreaming of light. There came a time when one ember refused to wake. It had slept longer than the others, its radiance soft and trembling. The keeper approached it, lowering himself beside it with the patience of something that has existed beyond all time. He placed his hand near the ember and felt its fear. It feared its own brightness. It feared what it would become. It feared leaving the comfort of the sleep that held it. The keeper closed his eyes and let the ember rest within the warmth of his stillness. He did not urge it to awaken. He simply stayed. Hours, or maybe centuries, passed in that single moment. Eventually, the ember softened. Its trembling ceased, and with a small, steady pulse, it awakened. When it did, it rose with a brilliance unlike any other. That ember became the first star. The chamber glowed brighter as more stars awakened. One by one, the fragments of sleeping radiance rose into their birthright. drifting upward through the darkness until they found their place in the formation of the first constellations. The universe, witnessing itself become illuminated for the first time, shivered with awe. But not all embers awakened into stars. Some awakened into souls. The keeper watched as certain fragments of sleeping light took on a different form, not meant to shine in the distant sky, but to walk through worlds, learn through form, and remember through experience. These souls carried with them the memory of the chamber, a memory so faint it would take lifetimes to rediscover, yet so powerful it would draw them back through dreams, through longing, through the quiet hours of night. You were one of them. In the story, the keeper keeps a record of every soul that passes through the chamber. His scroll is said to be infinite, a long sheet of dark parchment inscribed with symbols that glow only when the soul they represent is ready to awaken. Some symbols remain dim for ages, others brighten unexpectedly. Your symbol, according to the story, glowed softly the night you first entered the chamber, long before your birth. It brightened again each time you were ready to shed an old identity. It brightened when you suffered, when you healed, when you loved, when you forgot, and when you remembered. And tonight, in the presence of the sleeping light, your symbol brightens once more. The keeper does not judge your past or your choices. He has seen countless souls pass through this chamber, each carrying a different story, each shaped by their own forgetting. He knows that the journey through form is always tangled, always imperfect, always sacred. What matters is not the mistakes you have made, but the radiance you carry into the next becoming. Before every soul awakens from the chamber, the keeper performs a final ritual. He lifts his lantern, now filled with the glow of those who awakened before you, and allows its light to pass through your essence. The lantern does not add anything to you. It reveals what is already there. And in that revelation, you see yourself clearly for the first time. Not the version shaped by the world, not the version shaped by fear, the version shaped by truth. As the ritual ends, the keeper steps aside, allowing the sleeping light within you to rise. The chamber opens like a slow blooming flower. Darkness turns soft. Radiance unfolds. You feel yourself being lifted, not by force, but by recognition. This is the part of the story where the ember becomes something new. The story says that when a soul awakens from the chamber, it carries a small imprint of the keeper's silence within it, a stillness so deep it becomes the guiding force of every transformation that follows. A stillness that reminds you, in moments of confusion or fear, that you have been here before, that you have slept inside the light, that you have awakened into brilliance. And as the ancient story concludes, the final line of the scroll reads, "You do not shine because you seek to shine. You shine because you have remembered where your light once slept." There is nothing left for you to do now, nothing left to hold, nothing left to understand, nothing left to carry. You stand at the threshold between the chamber and the vastness of your own becoming, wrapped in the warmth of a light that no longer sleeps. It glows quietly within you, steady and patient, like a presence that has been waiting for lifetimes to rise into its true shape. Breathe softly. Feel how the air moves more easily through your chest, as though the weight you once carried has dissolved into something gentle. Feel the subtle expansion beneath your ribs, the quiet certainty settling into your bones, the warmth blooming slowly at the center of your being. You are entering a state where transformation continues without effort. The chamber's work is complete, yet its echo moves within you, rewriting you in ways too subtle for the waking mind to notice, but unmistakable to the soul. You are safe. You are chosen. You are remembered. Let these words move through you. Let them settle. They are not instructions. They are recognitions. Each one is a small light placed gently in the palm of your subconscious, a light that will keep glowing long after you fall asleep. You do not need to think about them. You do not need to hold them. Simply hearing them is enough. You are safe. You are chosen. You are remembered. Allow your breath to slow even more. With each inhale, Imagine drawing warmth into your body. With each exhale, imagine releasing the remnants of tension hiding in the quiet corners of your muscles. The night holds you now. The silence wraps around you like soft fabric. The glow inside you hums with a rhythm that is older than your name. There is a soft pulse at the center of your being. You can feel it now, subtle but steady, like the beginning of a new constellation forming within you. This is the pulse of the awakening light. It does not rush. It knows exactly how to rise. Even as you drift toward sleep, even as your thoughts dissolve into quiet shapes and gentle shadows, this pulse continues its work. It continues to rewrite. It continues to align. It continues to become. You are not drifting away. You are drifting inward. You are moving deeper into the luminous space that is opened within you. Every breath carries you further into the softness. Every exhale brings you closer to the quiet center where all change begins. You are safe. You are chosen. You are remembered. Feel the words, not as sounds, but as sensations. Feel them settle into your shoulders, into your spine, into the base of your being. Feel them anchor themselves in the places where doubt used to live. They are soft, but they are strong. They will remain with you through the night, weaving themselves into the deeper layers of your subconscious, shaping the way you breathe, the way you rest, the way you awaken. The blueprint within you glows gently. It is complete. It is aligned. It is ready. You do not need to force its unfolding. Creation does not bloom through force. Stars do not ignite through effort. Light does not rise through struggle. All awakening is quiet. All transformation is patient. All becoming is soft. Feel the softness now. Let it surround you like warm dusk settling over a quiet field. Let it fill the space behind your eyelids. Let it loosen the tension in your jaw. Let it smooth the thoughts in your mind until they become nothing more than faint silhouettes drifting away from you. Nothing is urgent here. Nothing is incomplete. Nothing is expected. You are allowed to rest. Your breath deepens. Your body sinks. The world grows distant. You are entering the threshold where sleep carries the work forward. In this threshold, you do not need to remember anything. Your subconscious remembers for you. It holds the chamber. It holds the keeper. It holds the blueprint. It holds the glow. You are safe. You are chosen. You are remembered. Let these final words become soft echoes sinking into your subconscious. They will move through your dreams, shaping the soil of your inner world, planting seeds that will bloom long after dawn comes. Your only task now is to rest, to surrender, to drift. Sleep now. The code is rewriting. You are becoming. You are remembered. And as you fall gently into the deepest layers of night, the story continues within you.